Okay, there we go. Hopefully everyone out there is doing good. I'm hoping to get through Lenegis today. But it depends on how long it is, doesn't it? But, just a little chat real quick. There we go. Last time the ship almost sank and then it came out. It turns out that it had been flooded in a fresh coat of paint, because why not? Let's have a look around the new area. This is going to be interesting. Because I'm looking forward to actually... This is the one occasion where I'm thinking, okay, because of fantasy, we get to see futuristic tech and how different, you know, this enslaved civil... Whoa! Huh. Okay. There's been issues here. What the hell is going on? I was talking about Alpha and Shion, but it's weird to actually see any kind of plants here. I was expecting them to have completely shown the middle finger to nature and be like, look at my machinery.
What in the world?
We still don't know what Zeugles are.
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
We can see the shape of the place change.
City have shifted. What could have caused this?
The area shifted. Come on.
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Duh.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
How wonderful.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Huh? Oh, you have friends.
Avakir. I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
This is gonna be a fun
An old
explanation.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me.
Who the hell's the
We're
current
looking for the
sovereign?
Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust
Just
me.
trust.
The
Yeah.
less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
Cool.
No.
Well, that's a unhappy
I see.
face. I'm guessing that's the girl who
Well,
was screaming at
Nothing
him in
much
his
has changed
memory.
with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
How wonderful.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
Duh. We're gonna meet the girl who was like crying over a corpse in his memory.
So who's Faria?
Law?
No, let him.
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Makes me wonder
Let's
what the
leave the
Red
talking
Woman
to
is.
Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
Would they
I
know
shall
who she
assist.
is?
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two.
Game. Oh, okay. Loading. Fine.
Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Slaves. You're slaves.
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
Yeah, let's
You
just
heard it.
wander
We don't have
aimlessly.
time to stop and chat. Let's move.
Does that work, right? Oh, another one?
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
Probably
What
not.
do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry, that probably sounded weird, huh?
No, it's a logical question.
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes me wonder where the hell, how the hell people are living on here and not Rena in the first place, because we haven't actually heard of any people actually coming specifically from Rena. They're all coming from Lenegis instead. So what's on Rena?
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but
How
we're
do you
looking for
feel
a woman
about that?
dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Because everyone here seems to be wearing white or black or
Yeah.
gold.
What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
That was a bit rude near the end. Little shit. Get up. Ooh. Okay. You're worth helping. Goddess of kind. Damn right. Damn right. Absolutely. Ooh, those are both real good. Give. Give. pressure.
I wonder just how many people have been saved by Shion in some form. I'm impressed.
There's rumors flying around about people being saved by a Renin vision of beauty.
Vision of beauty? That's a bit much.
Alpha
No,
had
it's
better
not.
stay on his toes.
Ah!
Where do I come into this?
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Yeah, I'll be your best, don't you? Thanks for that, Rinwell. That was great.
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
A little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
And if it's
You'd
not,
really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renin, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
okay. Really? Meh. Yeah, let's cook the way forward. Wait, what the hell are these meant to be? Street lights? Yeah, how weird. Wait a minute. Oh, great. Zeugles are running out on the loose in their own homeland. How brilliant. Still intrigued by how the hell they get them under control. But we need to find out. Information, please.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it.
Who bears the title of
Do
sovereign?
my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing
Where are
in
the
the presence of
okay.
his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed.
Sovereign doesn't have any plans. Look at this
The
idiot with a
Ilkaris
fire
house
sword.
has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Yeah, he's definitely succeeded, hasn't he?
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said Zoogle and stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
Good question.
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Huh?
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
Thank you.
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
They have starships.
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
It makes the most sense.
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you?
Yes.
The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction.
Seems like the best choice
Let's go
forward.
find it.
We know where it is. Yep.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it.
Conditioning.
You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
Well,
What if
maybe
she's not
you
here?
know Halim
What
could
if it
see
turns
him.
out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
I got a notification over. Nope. Okay.
Tell me,
No.
Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you got me
No.
curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
Nah.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
How wonderful. What the hell was that noise? I for a second thought they had managed to make a naked NPC and I got really confused from a distance. Alright. Okay.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do.
It's funny because when I stream I obviously have to run the capture card through my laptop. So I can actually see stuff on the monitor, but the display is way smaller than on my TV, so that just like really confused me for a second. I swear I thought the NPC was nude from a distance because I couldn't make out the clothes lines very well.
I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld.
If
And all
they
their
are.
lords were sent to Dana.
We know the lords definitely were sent to Dana though.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Yes.
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron.
Who cares? They all suck. And the thing is, Volron stole the position of Lord.
Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Yeah. And?
Yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
Don't try and mentally do gymnastics that, you know, oh, they might have been normal. No. If people can't act their best in a position of power, then you know that they had those traits underlying. It's like, yeah, money can do bad things to people, but come on. If you didn't have negative intentions in the first place, then you wouldn't use money and power like a scumbag.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
It's why you don't give power to children. They can't handle it. It's why you don't give it to children like adults either. They can't handle it.
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals?
Oh god.
Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis.
Hey, do you support a bitch that mass sacrificed people in a horde? No? Me neither. That's why we're here.
And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Well, to you two, to everyone else who is Danon, probably not. To be fair, I am curious about this quest, so I kinda do wanna complete it. I'm intrigued. Imagine they're just like, oh, one of them was at milk. Deliver the milk every day. It's like, oh yeah, mundane twat. Nice, good position. You want to know which lord I support? Why? Are you out canvassing for someone? I'm with His Excellency. Oh, for the love of God. Names. I'm with the deceptive twat. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute, believe me. Wait. Wait. I realize he can be an aggressive man. All those people don't realize is how much he looks after members of his household. Yeah, sure.
Yes!
Oh, for fuck's sake. But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that we can be sure. Not true. His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, but to improve the standing of each and every member of his house.
Yes!
I owe so much to His Excellency, I could never dream of serving any other lord. Weirdo. And?
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
That doesn't make him a good person.
Change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Bloody Balsa. Ballsack. It's fair to say that House D doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that. Okay, fair enough. Oh, hi. Oh, good for you, lady. So much so that I've tried sharing my appreciation of his lordship to any who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject through this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. He's just like, please, leave me alone. Now, can I file that restraining order? But since the lines appear to be cut due to the recent tumult, I've been unable to upload them. Yeah, good. No one wants to read your fanfiction. I know, since you're all here, I'll just read them aloud. Oh, no, I'm not reading that. I refuse. Look at that last word. Look at that last word. Oh, I was hoping when he raised his arm he was gonna face palm. He didn't, and that's the disappointing part. No. Oh god, his glove for collecting things. Stop it, you're creepy. Oh god. Oh, Helene, we're so sorry you have a sim.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
He's just like, please leave me alone. Don't worry about it though, Halim. You have a simp. None of us have to deal with it though. Rest in pieces. Oh. Free stuff. Fine. Do you think anyone would try to tear me away from House Valkyries?
What?
What do you want? Don't tell me you work for Lord Dohalim or that dreadful Lord Almatria. At least they all think she's dreadful. Thank you. You don't? Well, don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House Valkyries for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Ganabelt, the deceptive scumbag, behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Well, he's dead, so that's not happening. Many think him to be a cruel man, but I insist they're utterly mistaken. If many think it, and that's on Renna, well, you know, in Lenegis, out of the Renan people, then that says a lot. It's like even the Renans think he sucks. Though I won't deny he can be strict, he puts Renna's interests front and center like no one else. When he advocates that rather than stay confined to Lenegis, we should get on with colonizing Dana and expand our horizons. That way, we will be masters of both worlds, and overturn our current minority status on Dana's surface. That is why he seeks to become our next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater, more noble ambition than that? I think not. Well, there is, but... It's a pursuit of power for the advancement of all our kind. It is what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. I don't know about that. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my two sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface and might be dead. I mean, what? As their father, it fills me with endless pride. Will it when you get news of their demise? Or that they failed their job and the Lord is dead?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Renna succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
No.
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Renna.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
Almatria is the only one with that. Because why would he? So, where is Almadria's quote-unquote supporters? Doesn't seem like she has any, which is even funnier. Wrong thing. Maybe in the next area then. Oh god, she has a
This
supporter.
area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Let's have a chat. Let's see how you're a psychopath. Oh, look how happy you are. This area falls into the sole jurisdiction of House Canerus. I must ask you to depart at once. Surely you don't claim to be ignorant of our famed house, ruled over by the esteemed Lord Almadria. Yes, esteemed is one word. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you to listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis, only a few women lords have emerged to complete the crown contest? Is this a woman, a female activist? Is she just like, oh look, there's a female lord, we must support them? That's not a valid reason. Many theories as to why this might be, but Lord Almadria... Is it meant to be squashed or quashed? Like... the doubts of any naysayers through sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and her previous family master, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She usurped her family members, and that's... Yeah, she's strong. Good for her. It's literally because she's a woman. It's the only reason she gets followers. That's Twitter mentality right there. She is a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants. Who gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. Truly, Lord Almadria is a woman of talent. And being a bitch! No one in all of Renna, when Renna, to our knowledge, has no people potentially on it, better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's mediocrity. Well, meritocracy, fucking my brain. Soon the age of a glorious woman sovereign. See? Fucking look at that! She's female, I'll support for that reason only. She murdered a family, it's not like she means well for the people. Right? Right? You know, technically, I would say that technically Shion has won the crown contest since, you know, under her leadership, we've got this boy swatting around the other lords. So we'll get a female Renan on the throne if we want one, if the game will let it happen. Why the fuck would you support Almadria?
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
How lovely, how kind. Now. Ah, hi.
Ridiculous.
How loathsome. Huh? I was just reading about Volrun. Can I help?
Okay.
I was always an ardent supporter of Blood. Oh, for God's sake. Names, please. I haven't heard them for a while and you're making me try and pronounce them? Were it not for his sudden death down on the surface, I likely still would be. You know that he's dead? Oh, okay. So it's gonna be this is the predecessor to, Idiot. I wondered if I had heard the name before, but no, this is new. This is the one guy we didn't technically meet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's the person Volrun usurped. Okay, fair enough. As for how Volrun runs Gannis Paris, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Danes, but even his fellow Renans. We live in a society where the victor goes the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this house? Oh God. Stop with the names, it hurts. I'd never heard of it until he came along, which means they must have been among the lowest dregs of society. That such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to lordship is unheard of. It's called experimentation. You might want to try it. Oh wait, people do it a lot, it seems. None of it makes any sense, not to mention all the upheaval around here as of late. What is happening to our people?
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volrun either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
How lovely.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Duh.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
I'm sure even bloody
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too.
Aside from Almadria, she was a bitch.
Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us.
Almadria doesn't count.
What I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Aside from Almadria.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
Aw, good girl. Now, as I was saying, when it came to the the mention of the Lords being human too and having loved ones, I'm sure that a certain person who caused World War II had people who loved him at one point. That doesn't make him less of a bastard. So I don't think that helps anyone's case. Let's have a quick peek around. Yeah, but here's the thing. Power can also... We see gold diggers existing in, you know, the world as it is currently now. It wouldn't shock me if he somehow got away through power. Plus, to be fair, being a soldier before all of the really bad shit would earn some amount of respect. There's a reason why the party gained power at all. He had the views that were shared amongst the people after the loss. Still, I don't want to credit some bastard like that for being able to legitimately find love. Hell, good people don't find love in modern day society, so it's just a kick in the gut to anyone who doesn't have a partner. But someone like that could get someone.
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
Well, that bodes well.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Oh, my hip. No. Well, that wasn't far. Thanks for letting me actually make any distance game.
Doe?
Duh.
Faria.
Varia?
Yeah, it is
Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
No.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else.
Nah, piss off, you stupid bitch.
You're just a coward!
You're just a stupid bitch. The one who has to scream at someone instead of taking any action. Oh! Hi, Satan. And music as well. Right. Well, that happened.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
Yes.
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to.
Fair.
Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Ooh.
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Yeah, that was a bit much, my god. Wow. Dohalim. Can we, like, go back and see Satan? Probably not, but... fine. Alright, game. Mine. Hey Dohalim, no worries. There's a chance you may not need to die. After all, the woman might be dead now. Depending on what the hell the red girl did with her.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
Dead.
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed.
Oh, how lovely. Meh.
Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing.
But he didn't break away from
Besides,
social
it was that
constraints
way of
because he
looking
killed
at the
him.
world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
No. His sadness
Her
of
praise
us.
does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
You're a
How could
dipshit.
I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
Hey, you get
If you
respect.
hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim.
Not because you wanted to.
You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
This position is
think he'll be
currently
all right?
funny.
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
Precisely.
It's important to have someone like that.
Yeah, you two have each other,
I
right?
didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Oh. Oh, and the other friend heard. Okay, how
Alfred.
wonderful.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
Ooh.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
Oh, good. But what I was gonna say, it's ironic that Durhalim's friend wanted to marry someone of lower status and raise her up. Now he's kind of almost going for the same thing, since him and Kisara kind of made a point of quite a lot. Hell, he's marrying someone who's meant to have the ranking of slave. Don't agree with it, of course, I'm just saying.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Good. Give me shit. Ooh. Gimme. Hell. That is ugly. Looks like a giant pistol. One of those really old ones. How beautiful. That's the weapon, will you? Piss off, game. Maybe I should wait on that. Didn't mean to do that. Thank you. Sure.
Good. This came out just the way I hoped.
If you can at any point, do make the Atonement Edge for Alphen. For some reason, he wants that forged for one of his skills unlocked. Okay, thank you for the advice. I just need the stuff to make it. Let's have a quick peek. Actually, you... Megafauna bone. I'll keep an eye out.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Seems not. Is there any way we can avoid fighting them? No.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Halt! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menencia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. Crush the eye!
Finish without a trace!
Can't get out of this!
On a roll now!
Hurricane thrust! Hurricane
In the sky?
The enemy wields
I
arcs
never
too.
miss! We'll soon see about that!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Into the shadows!
Inferno punch! I can carve through my dragon sword!
Megasonic thrust!
Confiscated!
Damn it!
the Mystic Heart trigger.
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zoogles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Oh, how lovely. Fuck off.
Discourteous, aren't you?
You picked the wrong fight!
These ones can run rings around us.
I'll tear you apart! Now we're never No further! Talon Hurricane! Lightning thrust!
Robson
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
I think that's the first time I've ever seen those two use a joint attack.
Shattering pieces! Attack time!
I'm all stuffed up!
Lightning thrust! Do it! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I've been doing really great lately.
Hi. The Force.
Let's see what you've got.
Try harder!
Where are you going?
Eternal devastation! On your
Here I go!
eagle! Come on!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Burn! Eat this! I'll run you through! Can't get out of this! Now! In the groove! Soaring light spear! Talon Hurricane! Hurricane engulfs you! Burst! I'll finish you here and now! You're finishing you apart! Bloody hell! On your knees! Oh! Now I'm real mad! I can carve through armor! Eat this! Try harder! Lightning thrust! Everlasting Hurricane strike!
Here's evil!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Oh,
Dust to dust!
boy. Both you do.
Eternal devastation! Dazzle! Hurricane in a vine! Tear! Hurricane thrust! I'll finish you here and now! Dent in the way! Hurricane thrust! Tear! Soaring light spear! Here I come! Watch this! It's over! Take this! Lightning thrust! I can carve through armor! Tear! Hurricane thrust!
I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Take this!
That'll bring you down!
Hurricane thrust! Inferno punch! No further! Tear the flame inside me! Yours to be let free! I'll finish you here and now! I'm on!
Here's a healing arm!
I'll tear you apart! That's fun! The tempest engulfs you! Hurricane! Here! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Benediction light! Eternal devastation! Allow me to help you!
That just interrupts my. Screw you, game.
Consider yourself finished!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Damn right, we're gonna harvest this thing's bones and organs.
I see one, eh? You picked the wrong fight! Swallow dance! Super swallow dance! Eternal devastation! Tell me, have you ever considered your purpose in life? Oh my lord! Now you see what I can do! Can't get out of this! It's almost too strong! Then I'll split it open! Be my guest! Hurricane! Watch this! I'll grind you into dust! Megasonic thrust!
Corruption! By the power of water! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Where are you going?
Astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Here's evil!
I'm just getting started! Elusive deity! Can't get out of this! Eternal devastation! I'm ready! Show me! In an instant! Impact block!
I'll heal you all!
Eat this!
Healing circuit!
I'm turning your
Here I call!
We're not ready! Eternal devastation! What take?
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Okay.
Discourteous, aren't you?
Now you see what I can do! Flaming thrust!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
Now you'll learn! Ignite!
Explosion!
Megasonic thrust!
Here's evil!
Megasonic
Do it!
thrust!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action.
That's right, fair enough.
Fine, stand back. I'll trip it up.
You say it despite human enemy. I know that's just
Astral energy!
Say no more!
for the sake of convenience of the voice lines. It's just realistically to me, if they're talking to a humanoid enemy, then they shouldn't be calling it
Hurricane thrust!
an it.
Lunar blast!
Here I come! I'm ready!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Those soldiers... don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Hey, even if they are, fuck them up. Shotcake, yay! To be fair, shotcake's bloody nice. Hey, buddy. My buddy. I mean, I'm just gonna stab you a little bit. Hope you don't mind.
Get lost! This one's mine!
Can you take it? The Tempest's inclining to you!
I think I'll pass on the campaign!
Rising Falcon! I'll smash you! I'm just getting started! Burn! I'm on it!
Into the shadow!
I'll tear you apart! Eternal devastation! Can't get out of this! Take this! Tear!
Resonate with the earth.
You shouldn't have messed with me! Flaming thrust! Hurricane thrust!
Heal my weary companion.
Cure! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'll just want to stab a little bit. You just poke slightly at the flesh. A lot.
Begin! Crush! Tectonic punch! Eternal devastation! Burn it out! Talon hurricane!
It's like paper cuts with counters at stabbing a little bit. And that tends to hurt more. What the hell was just happening with the boys model?
Now I'm real mad!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! I'll run you through! Eternal devastation! Crush it! I'll crush you!
So it's death by 1,000 pokes. Yeah,
Lightning reflexes!
precisely. Imagine someone poking you with really sharp nails.
What's this? In a bind? Burn it hell! It was nice while it lasted. Megasonic thrust! Pierce! Megasonic thrust! Eat this! Here I come! It's over! I'm on! Nearly done for. Don't suffer in silence. Hurricane thrust! Do it! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
We can really make weapons with this?
Yeah. Fuck's sake.
It's on!
Hear my call! Here goes! Not on my watch!
Eternal devastation! I'll punch that gun out of your hand! Bring him down! Now it's my turn! Eternal devastation! Now or never! Armor won't save you! Here! Can't get out of this! In an instant! Impact block! Leave your snaring to me. Yeah, and cuddling to me.
I'll heal you all!
I'm getting you done.
Healing flame!
That eternal devastation.
Into the center!
Here. Now in the groove. Megasonic thrust. These fists have got your name on them.
Not on my watch! Without a trace!
Crush. Catapult. Super eternal devastation.
Astral energy!
Say no more. Resonate with the
Lunar
earth.
corruption!
Swallow dance. Can't get out of this. Take this.
Try to do it!
Elusive deity.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky!
Oh, wait.
Right, here goes. Not today. Might be black and blade. Try harder. Try harder. Pierce.
You think that shield will save you?
Megasonic thrust. I'll tell you. Damn it. Hold nothing back. Air pressure. All good things come to an end. Eternal devastation. Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno.
I'll heal you all! This one's mine!
I'll finish you here and now. The flame
you
inside
go?
is good. Watch it. Lightning thrust. Hurricane thrust. Far enough. We're not finished.
Healing
Now I'm in the groove. Burn it hell. Eternal devastation.
Astral energy!
Say no more. They smite with black flame. Here. Take this. Megasonic thrust. No further. Here. I'm ready. Chill.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Barely a blip on our radar.
Ooh, money. Okay. back again. Just gonna meet for a drink.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
There we go. And wonderful. Oh, it's a boy.
Alphen.
Oh God.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home.
She did keep her promise.
I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
Well,
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That
Shared
person
memory.
Alphen was speaking to. She looked exactly like Shion.
No, she didn't. Haha,
It was Naori.
Kola.
Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah, it was all just a little sudden, that's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
Good boy.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
A boss fight by the looks of it. Damn it. What the hell's that? I'm gonna be right back a moment just because I had a noise downstairs, so I'm gonna quickly check it out. So I'm just gonna mute and I'll be back in hopefully around 5 minutes at most. Sorry about this. Just... I'm back. Oh. The cat seemed to have made his way out of the kitchen because we store him in the kitchen over the night because he tends to roam around the house and he's quite old now, so we'd rather leave him with food and water where he's able to definitely get it. So he had managed to move position, so he must have been moving around in the living room. The music's nice. Oh, okay. We're gonna murder your other friend. Oh, look at her eyes.
Faria, how did you get in here?
We're gonna murder your other
Something
friend.
about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Oh. What in the... Alright. What the hell is this?
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes.
What the hell is it? Tormented Limbs, what a name.
I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
What the... Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the sugar. Then we get some answers.
Exploit the enemy's weakness.
Megasonic thrust!
I'm being start. No further.
Pierce!
This one's mine!
I'm on it!
Heal my weary
Eternal devastation!
Let me free you of your power.
Megasonic thrust!
Another incantation.
Ow.
I never miss!
Eternal devastation! Dazzle!
Smash you! I'm just getting started.
Ow, you got me mid-air? Wait.
What's this?
Eternal devastation!
Eagle assault!
Crush!
On your
Pierce! Megasonic thrust!
Burning strike!
Here I come!
take this!
Burn! Dazzle! Stop! Crush!
I'll bring you the dust!
Wide open!
You won't escape me!
I owe you one! Eternal devastation!
Freeze Lancer!
Crush! Eternal devastation!
Dragon Shadow! Now you see what I can do!
Megasonic thrust! You're finished!
Roll now! In a vine!
Eat dirt!
Swallow dance! What's this?
Eternal devastation!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I'll face you!
Eternal devastation!
going?
Megasonic thrust! Megasonic thrust! Be still!
It's trying to take us out. Well, I will go quiet! Still out here, loved and pain. No further!
Radiant
All
Pierce!
good things.
Nice try, you bloody
Heal my
crap.
wearied companion. Cure!
Back into the fray! Annihilation! By the
You think I'm just gonna stand still and let you?
Crash you!
Alright, you goddamn mind.
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kitara!
Cure! I'm all good things.
Eternal devastation! Crush!
Breath of life.
You picked the wrong fight! Megasonic thrust! Pierce!
In a vine.
Megasonic thrust! made out of fish!
These fists have got your name on them!
Eat dirt!
Here, let me help. I didn't think you had it in you.
Focus. There'll be time to congratulate me later.
Nothing much I can say to that.
Eat soaring blast!
By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
Take this! You're finished!
Eat this!
Hurricane speed! In a bind?
It's weakened! I'm on a roll now!
This ends now!
Anything in armor is all mine! I can carve through armor! Denied! Here comes something big!
Try to dodge!
Hurricane thrust!
Eat this!
This one's mine!
Eat this!
First aid!
Burn in hell!
I'm on it!
Where are you going?
Powered hurricane!
Try harder!
Nice while it lasts.
Reload!
There we go.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Piss off.
Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
Whack her with the can.
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Is she gonna die?
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Ooh. I don't know if I'd let her stay near you, miss. When she's doing stuff like that.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you
Following
doing here?
us.
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
Convenient. And now we can progress. Imagine if we come back out and it just turns out that her and her
He
brainwash
seems like a good
stick
friend.
killed him.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that.
That's a harsh truth.
Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
She's not wrong.
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
Hey.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Ooh, pretty. Whoa, alright. In the wedge? What the hell is this happening?
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
What the fuck? Alright. Yeah, it's alive, alright. Damn. What the fuck? That's not what we saw from his memories before.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
Aww, give her a hug. Do it.
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right.
Shut the
It was
phones.
as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
No, the sitting
I've
in
never
them.
felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling
got
over
a
theories
valid
will get us
point.
nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Okay. I'm right.
Finally,
Oh.
we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seem that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Seeing visions.
That
Seeing
vision we
drug
saw.
trips.
It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave,
Nah.
ghost type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait, he might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
The
You
opening
think
did
that's
show
what it was?
Naori.
Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, The strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
It's like, in the actual opening, we do get to see Naori within the spaceship. You can tell it's her by the hair color.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past.
So there's a Satan in them? Yeah.
I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Forward.
I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Atta boy. Let's go. Wait. I was expecting immediate cutscene. Huh.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want
Really?
to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
Oh, this is the plus.
Looks like some kind of research facility.
This reminds me of his flashback, where we actually got to move around.
Secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Oh, okay.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Good. Oh look, Sovereign symbol.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign.
That'll have to be
It's
the
your
most
call.
recent.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
This isn't a shock.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA.
Volran.
Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volran.
Thought so. Yeah.
Volran?
Duh.
But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volran are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told.
Have
But
you ever
according to
seen
these
any
records,
posts?
there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie.
Red woman.
The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
Yay, let's use a few hours trying to
I'll do
debug
that.
this. Jesus Christ.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volran as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it.
Stop turning it to friendship.
Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Sovereign. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. Adanan's subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. How wonderful. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danan subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. The Maiden. The Maiden acts as the sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted a level 2 authority and an ID crest. The thing is, within the Maiden is where the form seems to originate, because it seems... I wonder how they pick her. Actually, they're going to explain that here. A random subject serves its function, providing the Sovereign with supplement Dark Astral it lacks in tandem with the Renus Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conservation, as well as maintaining stability over the Sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the Sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. I wonder where they got that result from. Because of this, trial activations of the Sovereign without the Maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the Sovereign nor the Maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. So she doesn't know? Oh, fuck. Alright, I'll check back in. Mental instability in the Maiden has deemed the cause of the past Sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. The thing is, it wasn't her fault, it was the Fawn's. 2. In line with the plan's adjustments, the current subject will have its Maiden registration revoked and return to its original household. So she just got put back in her old house. Okay. Master Cores. Master Cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belong to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these Master Cores, those with earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan Lords at the time of the Crown Contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renaissance is ready to be reformed, its existence kept top secret. Okay, so there isn't that many, they just keep reforming using the exact same cores. Underneath a Master Core's spherical outlayer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of the tenure, each Lord competes in the Crown Contest to amass their allotted allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each Lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how Renaissance materializes. Be advised that the active Master Cores may resonate with other Master Cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to the successful regeneration of the Renaissance, Master Cores will cease to be deployed and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Spirit Cores. Spirit Cores are the end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that the Danans must be employed to harvest astral energy for the purpose of the Crown Contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Alright. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles and to control them via astral. So that's how. So what the hell are they? That's not insightful to what the fuck they are. Addendum. Increased physical load on the host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for a maximum astral energy yield is still pending. Lords, there it is. Each Crown Contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as Lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority. They have higher authority level. They have higher authority level than the Sovereign and Maiden. Unless it's going in the reverse order. And level 1's meant to be the highest. Anyway. As well as one of the 5 elemental realms to administer and its corresponding Master Core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make any individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a Master Core's power. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Following is a report on the second successful okay. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for the following orders. Yeah, we can tell he's unstable, mate. As such, the risk it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration of disposal. They were gonna get rid of him because he was too unstable. Oof. Addendum. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Lenegis. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the astral composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Rena's armor within the central core of Lenegis. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defense layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit, while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones, so they knew that was coming. However, because that only takes place during the final stages of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plans to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegis serves as a central base of operations for management and execution of the crown contest on Dana. Warning, any personnel within level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. Okay. So yeah, the ranking goes in the opposite order. So who has authority 1 then? Since... Are there any others? Because I'd assume all the scientists that are actually here giving, well, creating, since they would have been working on creating a new sovereign, they would have either level 2 or level 1 authentication, or technically higher than both of all of the ranks. Massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegis' conduit, for which it separates. Upon landing in Dana's waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana, while the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulating energy is then transmitted to the Rena via Lenegis. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator areas, Lenegis' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detached Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion from the previous model, which altered the planet's topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. Sedative Mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means to prevent patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum: due to loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Brainwashing report. After receiving reports of the robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. This system is unique that it elevates only the Lords as a supreme authority while regulating both Dana's and Renan's alike to enslavement. The test subject Astral serves as the realm's current lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of the cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once a subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The result will be monitored. Damn. The moment you give me revival items, I think immediately that something's meant to be made to kill us. Oh. The room unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like time itself has stopped here. Oh, mask.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Nice of her. Oof.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%?
Poof!
And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it.
Just do it.
I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try.
Alphen, you are so fucking lucky.
Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight.
Good boy.
Naori was the one who put that mask on me. It made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Ooh, items. Give. Well, that's useless. Thanks, game. Oh, great. Looks pretty, doesn't it? More fibery shit.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Huh. Whoa.
Naori. What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
You fucking passed out to your
Is this another
descendant.
memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could.
And then pass that on.
The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well.
Yep, there it is.
Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just... Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
Oh, nice outfits. Nice.
What?
Pretty.
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
Pretty.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
And that's why the Red Woman took it.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I'm curious on why the hell...
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but... I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still...
Yeah, fuck the
No,
world.
it isn't.
Be happy.
You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Grinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop.
Nah.
Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
Is the reason for your curse.
the thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved snack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
Aww.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Giving Law a well-deserved smack. That is the ending we want. That fucking broken. That was great. Wonderful. Ooh. Oh. What a name. Holy shit.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
that changed. Ooh. Ooh. Now let's have a look at the outfits. Oh, compare still. I could ruin this if I just had a stupid hat on. Let's have a look in the new area. Oh, it's just a teleport. Alright. Oh, bloody wonderful. Okay.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
How wonderful. It's the fleshy looking area.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Oh, how lovely. Strange manor.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah,
Different's
you're
an
right.
understatement.
Actually, this place, it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Yeah.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That
I don't
depends.
think he cares.
Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Damn right. Absolutely. Oof. I'm gonna sit here for this spot. Let's bloody go.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma.
Reveals the
Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Oh, once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
How?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion.
And the Satan lurking within forms.
Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renaissance. Because right now, we need that most of all.
Why would we turn our backs on the enemy? Like, are you on acid?
Not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alvin, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
Oh,
They all have
yay.
the same face?
Great.
How is that even possible?
The bloody eyes. What the hell? What the fuck are you? Alright.
What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
Go fight you.
They're not feeling
Fuck off.
particularly talkative.
It's no use, Elton. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand. Be still! Rise up!
That spot.
Eternal devastation!
Glacial Spear.
Watch this.
Here's evil.
I'll tear you apart!
Freeze, ready.
Black and flame.
Here, let me help.
Crush!
First aid.
That's
Eternal down!
anything in armor is all
Missile
mine.
ray.
Now you see what I can do. Negative gate.
By the power of flame.
At the very least, you take a lot of damage.
Glimmer dragon. Here. Eagle assault. I'm on a roll.
Ow, 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 ow. So do I. Am I?
Glacial Spear. Here's evil.
Megasonic flame inside me! Yours to be let free!
Talon sword.
Being interrupted.
Let's do this all tempting.
Eternal devastation!
Talon sword.
Eternal devastation!
Glacial Spear. Here's
Eternal
evil.
devastation! Try harder!
Freeze Lancer.
Watch this.
Eternal devastation!
Take this.
Healing circle.
Megasonic thrust!
Take this.
Megasonic thrust!
I can carve through armor.
Glacial Spear. Here's evil.
I'm on a roll now.
Freeze Lancer.
Oh, you dick.
Take this.
Yeah, don't.
Eternal devastation! Eternal devastation!
Another incantation ruined.
Megasonic thrust! Try harder!
Freaking does it.
Hear my call.
Heal my lyric companion.
Lightning thrust! Be still! Hurricane thrust! Soaring light spear!
Healing art.
Blood. Rending you apart.
Dazzle!
Bloody howling.
Eternal devastation!
Stalagmite.
That'll bring you down.
Rending you apart. I'll crush you.
My boy Law.
Lightning
In with the mystic as always. You're still gonna get that slap from Shion though, sorry.
Watch this.
Rise and shine. Not on my watch. Resurrection.
What in the world?
Dohalim!
I'm alright. Still safe.
Ignite! I'm in your debt. Watch this!
Ready!
Captivity! Nothing gets by me!
Searing flame! Confiscated! Piercing flame of fury!
Far enough!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Now we're ready. Hurricane Thrust! In a bind?
Here, let me help!
Soaring light spear!
Eat this! Gemini Aqua!
Shine! Radiant light! Devastation! Regeneration!
I never miss!
Regenerate! Armor won't sink! I'm on a roll now! Burn in hell!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Ow. Dick.
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing art. Here's a healing art! First aid!
No bond shall break this night! Be still!
I'm out of ammo!
I'll tear you apart! Megasonic
I'll
thrust!
heal you all! Here goes!
My focus!
Healing circle! Not in your dreams!
I can't hurricane!
Mega ray!
Stop! Inferno
Gemini Aqua!
Elusive
By the power of water!
Begin! Eternal devastation! I'm just getting started! Heal my weary spine! Cure! What's this? In a bind?
By the power of
Freaking
flame!
does it!
Finish without a trace!
And again. Fucking hell, what?
Not today! Shine! Eternal devastation! Force of regeneration! Armor won't sink! Now I'm in the groove! Eternal devastation! Try harder! Don't get carried away! This isn't looking good!
Ow.
Don't suffer in
If it's in the
silence!
sky, it's mine! Where are you going?
To everlasting darkness! Negative gain! Eternal devastation! Burn!
Art healing circle!
Bloody howling!
Let's get it started!
Negative gain!
Glacial spear! Here's evil! Here's a healing art! First aid!
Burn! Lost my focus! Pierce! Captivity! You're done! In a bind?
Mega ray!
Megasonic thrust!
Water! Hear my call! Spread! Water! Hear my call!
Eternal devastation! Resonate with the earth!
I'm going to use all the power of my healing art to accomplish this.
Air soaring light spear!
With my
I'm on it!
I'm going to use all the power of my healing art to accomplish this.
A scream bathed in blood. Not today! Bloody howling! Soaring light spear!
Here goes!
On your knees! You're finished!
Freeze laser!
I'll tear you apart! I'm on a roll now! Crush! Eternal devastation! Try harder!
Lunar blast!
Crush! Heal! Burn! Eternal devastation! In a bind? River!
Die.
Say no more!
Okay. Come on. How are you surviving this?
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Just kill it. What the hell is it doing?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
Oh! Yeah, nuke.
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Take it and then stab him.
Who said you could touch that?
Oh, absolutely. Fuck off.
Damn it! He's awake! I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown code name for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Boran was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
The delivery
So he posed
is
as a
dumb
Renin
because
and
it's
caused
common
all that
sense.
suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Dana are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters.
At least
I
he's
will
equal
stand
on that.
with all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
Ooh.
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
We're leaving him? We're at the cold heart, we're leaving him to die. No. Jump. Do it, Alphen. Jump. No. Come on. Atta girl, come on. Come on. Get her. Get her. Yeah, good boy. Come on. Look how pissed he is.
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Fucking dead.
you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this
Meh,
thing
nothing
over
new.
on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
We just casually ditched him
But
to burn
seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennan's or Danan's.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
You
Tell
do
me
expect
about
them
it.
to be human.
One minute they look perfectly human. Next
No,
thing
they
you know,
didn't.
they're
Their
not actually
eyes.
human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day.
How about you, Shion? Doily? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renaissance too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Makes you think hive mind. How wonderful. Still no fast travel. I'm a bit sluggish, I won't lie. I will, after I get out of this area, probably call it the stream. Just getting my bearings on locations. Hopefully you guys don't mind that. A lot's happened. Nearing the end though, jeez. It's like it can't be much longer. To be fair, I do like his outfit. You say show off his fancy new outfit. Damn bloody right. If you look that good, you'd definitely show it off. Oh, fuck off. Oh. These enemies can leave me the hell alone.
Like this should be easy. Bring them down!
Cut our losses.
I won't show you any mercy!
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Sometimes retreat is the best strategy. Leave the agile ones to me.
There we go.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone?
Joe?
Oh, what?
You two. Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
Yeah, bitch.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so,
Just
then
one
what's
man.
the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Oh, how wonderful.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Yes.
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd—
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Beat the shit out of them.
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
All that.
At ease. Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Podderhelm.
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then.
Poor guy. Enjoy your work.
Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldamen and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many.
Goodbye.
I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
And that was a quick fix on that. Fair enough. Interesting there's no natural light, though it does make sense since we know that Rena doesn't seem to have any.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
Diplomacy.
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnagain's death. To see a future.
Meh. Sorry, I don't feel much for you at all.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
That was good shit. Ooh. Might wait to get this one. The down damage is also really good. I'll go for this actually.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
Law.
Everybody can share the credit here.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
I don't think it matters at this point.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Fair.
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Watching a video.
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
Nah.
That obvious, huh?
I was very upfront
I was
for an
just thinking
answer.
how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
So the thing that makes me feel weird is the moment they say mother bird, it's like, are they meant to be a pair or not? What is the game trying to imply about them? I can't bloody tell. But if it's meant to be a ship, then here's a little thing. When you don't feel needed by a person, like required for someone to be able to do anything, then you know that if they approach you and want you there, that it's because that's their conscious choice at that point. Which is, if anything, more meaningful than someone doting on you like some fucking loser. That was a bit brutal, but oh well. You get my point. If he couldn't move forward and he was still needing Kisara to lead him forward, then that's not gonna really mean a whole lot. Same goes for anyone or anything. Oh, back. I'm gonna call it if you guys don't mind. I've been at this 3.5 hours? Yeah, almost 3.5 hours. It's been fun though. Late Night Star is savage. Late Night Star is fucking tired. I need to at least tone it down as I doubt I'll fall asleep yet, but I'll at least relax a bit, which will be nice and ease my throat. Thank you all for tuning in though, it's been fun, and as always I'm glad to have you guys around and you make it more fun for me. But if you haven't already and you're new, I'd appreciate if you liked and subscribed, and I'd recommend joining the Discord because that's where I tend to notify about what's going on with the channel. I should be streaming, I want to say tomorrow, but it's not even technically tomorrow, it'd be later on today for me because it's gone midnight already. It's almost past. Wonderful, yay, time. So, have a good night, morning, day, whatever time it is, wherever you guys are in the world, and I will see you next time. I'll notify on Discord if it's gonna be, you know, quote unquote tomorrow, because it's not tomorrow for me, but it probably is for most of you. Take care, everyone.